A 5-year-old girl was dragged onto the execution ground over a smashed jade pendant. Suddenly, she realized she had transmigrated into a novel she read last night. As the guards pinned her down, she complained in her mind about taking the blame. The tyrant emperor froze, shocked that he could suddenly hear her voice. The armored men ruthlessly lifted the distressed child by her arms to haul her away. But the tyrant glared at his men. "Tell me, what did she just say?" he demanded. The terrified guards swore they heard nothing. A guard prostrated on the floor, begging for his life. Meanwhile, the little girl mentally mocked the emperor, calling him a violent tyrant. The tyrant stared in disbelief. He was actually reading her mind. To save herself, the girl mentally plotted to magically fix the broken pendant. Then, she casually thought he was doomed to die in 7 days anyway. Provoked, the tyrant snapped and gave her exactly 7 days. "If you can't fix it, I'll kill you." An older minister bowed, pleading that she was only a child. But the tyrant coldly refused, ordering them to take her head if she failed. Managing to escape, the young girl wandered past the dry grass of the courtyard until she found a smiling woman waiting for her indoors. Sitting at a wooden table, the little girl eagerly stuffed green vegetables into her mouth with chopsticks. The woman, her mother, sat beside her looking completely devastated. She wept and blamed herself for her daughter's miserable fate. The little girl looked up with her mouth open. She promised to find them something better to eat before running off. Later, inside the grand imperial study, the little girl secretly peeked from behind an ornate wooden pillar. The older minister stood behind the tyrant, discussing the severely beaten prince. The little girl continued spying from her hiding spot. Suddenly, a panicked minister rushed to the rug, reporting that a massive flood had hit the west, causing a deadly refugee riot. From the pillar, the girl mentally scoffed at the plot. She knew the country would be destroyed in 7 days. Hearing her catastrophic thoughts, the tyrant glared toward the door. He immediately ordered his guards to drag her inside. 2 guards dragged the struggling child into the hall. She dropped to her hands and knees, begging her father not to be angry. To her surprise, the tyrant called her over. He gently offered her a small yellow pastry, watching her intently. As she happily chewed, he casually asked her opinion on the refugee crisis. In her mind, she simply thought to just give them food. The tyrant immediately repeated her exact thought out loud. The girl stared in shock, convincing herself it was just a bizarre coincidence. He tasked the minister with feeding the refugees, glaring menacingly. "If you don't handle it well, I'll kill you." Ignoring the deadly tension, the little girl joyfully devoured the royal feast. She mentally planned to sneak the leftovers back to her mother. She happily packed the leftover pastries into a brown paper bag right in front of them. The tyrant watched her pack the food. Intrigued by her powers, he commanded his minister to investigate her mother's identity so he could interrogate the girl further.